What's going on YouTube? And in this video, we're going to show you how to make your UI in the War Within streamlined, super easy to understand on what is going on and making it feel as much as classic WoW as possible. Because in retail, there are so many additive damages that are going on, and we're just going to clean all that up so you're only seeing what you need to see and you're not seeing all the techno lasers and all that stuff where you're super overstimulated and you don't know what's going on. Because that was something that prevented me from playing the game because there was just always so much going on, but we managed to fine tune and create a UI that is incredible. So without further ado, Bunkai. All right. First off, what we want to do is we want to download Easy Frames. Okay, Easy Frames is going to give us this kind of look, and what this does is this organizes it in class color so you know who you are looking at, which is incredible. And I actually think the colors look really good, and it creates a little bit more spacing for the health bar, and it gives you that energy source, and it has the name sit above, which allows for just more spacing and clarity whenever you're looking at an enemy player. In addition to this, what Easy Frames does is it makes your debuffs bigger and their debuffs slightly smaller. What this does is it helps categorize and compartmentalize what's going on your screen, on what you're doing to the enemy, and then what they're doing to themselves, so you can kind of better understand the picture in the moment on what's happening. So how this looks like is we're going to go into the settings, and this is Easy Frames. Okay. And now what we want to do is we want to go to player and target. Okay, these are the two things, and then a little bit of focus, but player here. Now with this, you can set up your class color. I'm OG. I like to see the character's face. I'm a very proponent on the RP on that, so I keep it default. Shout out to the follower while I'm recording this video. Next, you want to go. This is going to be set to current plus max plus %. You want to go down to custom format. Okay, now you're going to slide the number on the font style to whatever you like. I like 14, and I'll show you on the slider how it looks like. So I think by default it's 10. I like 14 because I want to have a quick glance, and it's going to be filling up the bar, and I just kind of quick glancely can see the number and understand what is happening. Now down here it gets a little crazy. You're going to see a lot of these values. Don't worry. At the very bottom of display HP by pattern, you're just going to delete everything until it says current. So % current %. What this does is it just shows the 3.7 million or the 3.5 million. This makes the whole bar have spacing to breathe, and also it's super small and clean. 3.7 M, 3.5 M. And what this does is it re-emulates the classic numbers. The dot can look like a 0, and then the M is also another 0. And so it makes it where it's just kind of like 4 numbers that you're looking at. There's only 4 things, similar to vanilla WoW. So moving on, you can customize any of this type of stuff if you want to have the nameplate inside. Again, I like it above. I think it makes it a lot more cleaner. These are my settings. So we're just going to go into that. If you see anything personally, you can go ahead and change that and freestyle crocodile all you want. Next thing is the player. We're going to have to match it and do the same thing. Remember, display the HP pattern, and I have it by 14. Okay. And then you're going to go down here, and I actually have toggled off hide the PvP icon. And the reason why I have hide the PvP icon is most of the time I'm doing instance PvP, or if I'm on war mode, I know I'm on war mode. And then from there, I am allowed to have my set focus to be a little bit more customizable and placed in a little bit of a better spot. So from here, we're going to go to the focus, and we're going to be able to just do the same thing. So now you're kind of a little bit more familiarized with the settings, and you can just go through and do whatever you want, essentially, to each and every single one. And then in this setting, the Easy Frames, the textures, this is set to Blizzard. You can set it to anything if you want it to look a little bit different, a little bit more cleaner. You can customize and have it look any which way you technically want. I like the classic Blizzard. So now with that, the second add-on that we want to do is Classic UI. Download Classic UI. I don't have a link to all of these add-on listings below. What this is going to do is it's going to give us the actual classic UI, right? It's going to give us the griffins, the old school. It's going to stretch out the talent or the action bar and just make it feel cozy and make it feel home. right? And make it feel familiar. I don't know why, but the classic UI just seems timeless and it's perfect with how it is, at least for me. The action bars are exactly the sizing and where I want it. I will say I did have to go into the options and I did have to go into the UI scale. This might be different. I'm on a 1440, like a 2K monitor. It might be different for everyone. So click use scale and then start finagling and playing around with the sizing to get your sizing just right. I'm not using bartender here and I'm not using dominoes. You possibly could use dominoes or bartender for me to achieve this UI. I didn't do so. I just did that and I finagled the UI scale. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Sexy Map. Sexy Map is great because it creates a little bit more of a modern, streamlined, still MMO feel of a map. It's going to be default blue circle. It's just called Sexy Map. All you have to do is just go up here. You're going to right click on the map, go down to simple squared, click apply, and voila. There it is. Super RP default, and you can move everything around and all the other things are going to become hidden. There's not a button grab or anything like that. You can just enjoy it. Next thing is I want you guys to make sure that you get a bug grabber. Okay, so the next add-on you want to get is bug sack and bug grabber. All right, and when you grab both of these, because these are there's so many add-ons and the expansion's kind of new, you might get these error messages. It's fine, it's harmless. It's not like the add-on isn't going to work for you. It'll still work, but you want to make sure that you have the bug grabber and you want to go into bug sack and you want to press mute because it's going to be like fatality, fatality whenever an error pops up. But if you mute it, it's quiet, it's simple, and you will never have like, oh, your add-on's having issues. Oh, your add-on's having issues. Never going to happen, and you're going to be fine. The next add-on that you would want to download is Classic Numbers, and you want to copy what I've done here because this is where in my opinion, a lot of the magic happens. So what I've done here is I've disabled Blizzard numbers. Okay. If the add-on is enabled, we have it enabled. Make sure you have that. This is the big part. Truncate big numbers. Don't come after me. Probably butchered the pronunciation. Okay, what this does is a 1200 hit turns into 1.2k. Now, I understand it's a little bit different because you're seeing Ks everywhere, but it's going to take a little bit of adapting to, but this is where the secret sauce lies. Because when you're blade storming or you're doing any sort of AoE, which is very prominent in the game, whether you're doing Mythic Pluses or BGs or something, especially for the new solo RBGs, there is a lot of AoE damage going out, and it is actually just unplayable when it comes to just understanding what the living hell is going on my screen. So the 1.2k, it allows it to just be 4 digits, right? Look at the 1 as a digit, look at the point as a digit, and look at the 2 as a digit and the k as a digit. 4 digits, and it's really, really clean how this ends up looking. I promise you. I have the comma separated. I have this, and then use damage school colors. For warriors, this doesn't do anything. Maybe this is cooler for your class. If you have fire, if you have arcane, to kind of just maybe see some different colors and have a vibe. This doesn't impact anything. You can use this. You don't have to use this. That is on you, personal preference. So this is where this whole thing kind of comes together with the Ks. I have a small hits filter, and I also have a crit filter. What I've done here is I have slid and I've hidden every single damage that I do that is less than 100,000 will not appear. And I'll show you what this means. So if I want to go do a shockwave, I'm not doing a shockwave to show 11,500 damage. If you look at the tooltip, I'm not here to be like, oh my God, did I just do 20,000 damage with my shockwave? Whoa. No, shout out to the other follower while I'm recording the video. I have 3.7 million health, and it scales even more in PvP. What is 10,000? You don't even need that. So what this does is I'm pressing Shockwave just to press Shockwave. I'm pressing Whirlwind to press Whirlwind to try to get another Overpower or an MS proc. I'm not here to press Whirlwind to see how much damage I'm doing. So what this does is it makes your filler abilities not show numbers. What this does is it now allows for your only abilities to show up. So for example, if I wanted to do sweeping strikes, right? Shockwave, boom, and Whirlwind with everything. Look how easy this is. This is unbelievably understandable and digestible. All of that was digestible. And if it's not over 100K, you don't need to see it. You don't need to see the damage because you have so much health, it's irrelevant. I don't want to see white hits. What is a white hit gonna do? Am I gonna be like, oh my God, I just got my Slayer proc off? And when you play a warrior, you have a thing, you have like sword spec in vanilla, but it does it to someone else, or it can do it to the same person, or maybe you get a blade storm proc for like a second. I don't need to see that additional damage. It doesn't influence the moment to a point where I'm like, oh my God, hard switch, bro. No, it's just like a little bit of extra damage added. So what this does is it now allows for the game to only show you the numbers that matter. And because we're removing and filtering out all the numbers that don't actually matter, again, look at this. I'm only pressing Mortal Strike. You're only seeing my big abilities. You don't need to see the damage of Hamstring. You don't need to see my damage of Stormbolt. You don't need to see the damage of my Whirlwind. You don't need to see the damage of my Kick, right? You need to see the damage of my Overpower. You need to see the damage of my MS. You need to see the damage of my Execute, right? You need to see the damage of my Thundering Roar. Yeah, you need to see that stuff. That's very important. Shockwave? No, Shockwave's just used for stunning. And if you do see my Whirlwind, I already know that I just popped off and I did like a crazy ass crit, like an insane Whirlwind crit, like the most top end Whirlwind crit you can ever get. So what this now does is it makes retail playable, especially for the classic community. Guys, I get it. I couldn't play the game. It's too much going on. But with this UI, it brings it home. I have the easy frames. It looks modern. It looks clean. Look at my debuffs. They're highlighted. It creates a really unique experience with red highlight over my debuffs on them, and then their debuffs below. It's incredible. It really is incredible. So the last thing to kind of wrap it all up together is Plater. Plater is an incredible add-on, and this definitely comes down to personal preference. I'm gonna have a link bin to my Plater in my Discord, which I will link in the bottom description. You can just join the Discord and you can find all the add-on listings and everything like that right then and there. And what this does is this allows you to fully customize. See, for me, I'm not a person that likes to have Rend on top of the nameplate. Why? If I press Thunderclap, it puts Rend on everyone. I don't want Rend and Thunderclap debuff on every single person around me if there's 7 or 8 people, or if I'm in a dungeon and there's like 15 mobs on me. What am I gonna do? So Plater, this is where you have your little free reign. If you want to copy mine, I have it super minimalist, but it still holds true to an MMO feel. It doesn't break your immersion. It's class color coordinated, and it just gives you a little bit of an indication of who your enemy is and where their health is. There's no debuff showing. You can see your cast bars. I have my friendly nameplates. My friends are hidden. I will not be showing my friends, and there will also be no nameplates of my friends. This also helps clean up the world and clean up the BG experience or PvP experience to allow you to see and understand a little bit more of like what is going on. So I only have the nameplates show of my enemy players, and I have the nameplates of the pets show, but they're incredibly small because at the moment right now, there isn't a way to actually remove them. If you know a way, please let me know down in the comments below. See what I did there? And yeah, let me know if you can, because I'd love to probably just remove the pet nameplates, because that's also kind of havoc. There's a lot of classes that have multiple pets, but I did shrink them down so they are a lot smaller. And again, it's all about digestible, right? This whole UI, this whole UI experience is about jumping into the modern game as a classic player and being able to digest the game and feel that it's not too overwhelming with all the numbers and everything like that, and being able to feel like, okay, this does actually it's like augmenting classic WoW in the War Within and retail. And that's it for the video, right? We have the easy frames. Everything looks clean and clear. We have the classic UI. It's cozy, it's home. We have the simple map. We have the bug grabber grabbing everything. We have the classic UI numbers, which allows us to put the numbers in decays. We slid the filter up to 100,000. Anything below, we're not showing it. We're filtering out all of the weak numbers that just added clutter. It's added clutter. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Now you are ready to dive in to the War Within Enjoy my classic bros. Retail is kind of lit. We stream every single day on Twitch. And hey, boys, we might be back on YouTube. Like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bunkai.